Coming up on Sunrise, it's the end of an era for the Coastal Bend as neighbors near and far watch the old Harbor Bridge finally being torn down. Here's what other stories we're covering in your neighborhood.
Aransas Pass Independent School District is proposing a 4% tax rate increase this election season. I'm Victoria Valderrama. I'll tell you why school officials say taxpayers won't be impacted by this change.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Michaela Chavez. Brian and Michelle do have the day off. Let's turn it over to Stephen Jones, who's standing by with a look at your roadways before you head out the door this morning. Hey, Stephen, good morning.
Well, good morning, Michaela. Not too bad starting off our Tuesday, right? I mean, how are you doing, though? Did you get enough sleep?
I did not get enough sleep. I was watching the Game 3 of the World Series.
Yeah, you know, I didn't stay up for it. I still didn't get enough sleep, though, but makes me wish I would have stayed up for it. But that was a pretty good game, right?
It was great. Too long.
Yes. 18 innings, I believe it was. I mean, yeah,
yes,
just too long out there. But at least starting off our Tuesday morning, looking at those roadways right now, not too bad out there across most of Corpus Christi. Get a more in-depth look now here at the Harbor Bridge to and from Portland this morning as we're starting off the 6 a.m. hour. Good and green as you're getting ready to head out the door. Getting into Corpus Christi now, Ocean Drive, no major slowdowns to report. Ennis Jocelyn, just a couple minor slowdowns there to be mindful about. SPID, though, Crosstown Expressway, both good and green, as well as Saratoga down there. Rodfield Road, just a minor slowdown as you get close to SPID, but really nothing too bad as you're heading out the door. Now closer to the island, over by Flower Bluff Drive, no major slowdowns to report. Waldron Road does have a minor slowdown there to report, just to keep in mind as you're heading out the door. And of course, the normal one you see as you're getting closer to the gate there at the Naval Air Station. Not too bad, though. And then SPID in the Causeway as you get closer to the island. Going to be nice and green as you're heading out the door. Might start to see a little bit more traffic as we're heading into the second half of the hour, getting closer to that 7 a.m. time frame. Some of those drive times for you this morning, sitting at 21 minutes from downtown to the island. Portland to downtown, going to be about 8 minutes. And if you're coming from Cal Island to downtown, that should be sitting around 14 minutes. So wherever you're coming from and wherever you're going to, good and green to head out the door and kick off your Tuesday morning.
Thank you, Stephen. We will get to your neighborhood news in just a bit. But first, air traffic controllers will officially miss their first paychecks today due to the government shutdown. The funding battle is already putting a strain on air travel, with airports across the country reporting more staffing shortages than usual. Thousands of flights were delayed over the weekend due to those staffing issues. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said on Fox News Sunday, air travel operations could be strained even more as the government shutdown stretches. Scripps News Group Joe St. George will join us at 6:12 with the latest. And the Old Harbor Bridge has been a part of Corpus Christi skyline for more than 60 years, but its final chapter has begun. Neighbors and visitors gathered in the Bay Area on Monday to see the iconic structure before it comes down. Built in 1959, the bridge served as a vital link across the ship channel and a landmark for generations of Corpus Christi residents. As part of the first phase of the demolition process, crews are removing the center span, which will allow larger ships to enter the port. Now, this change will also make way for full operation of the new bridge just hundreds of feet away. Neighbors tell Chris 6 News they're sad to see the old bridge come down, but happy for the memories it brought.
But this is a historical monument. It's history here. We're going to see it again. Good to meet you, sir. And it's got a lot of memories for Corpus Christi.
Now, crews will continue the process of demolishing the old bridge today. It's unclear when the bridge will be completely gone.
I'm your Aransas Pass neighborhood news reporter, Victoria Valderrama. For the first time, the school district here is asking taxpayers to participate in a voter approval tax rate election. It could mean more opportunities for students and teachers.
If we do this, this will allow us to have some conversations that right now we just cannot have.
Aransas Pass ISD is proposing a 3-cent increase to the maintenance and operations tax rate. Superintendent Wayne Bennett says it would go towards campus budgets.
This gives you day-to-day budgetary funds. We can look at salaries. We can look at some of our programs. We might look at some upgrades on facilities. We're able to buy supplies.
But voters need to understand the overall district tax rate is a combination of M&O, maintenance and operations, and INS, interest and sinking.
$360,000. That's how much money will be generated just by raising this 3 cents. Okay, that's why the ballot says this is a tax rate increase. What the ballot doesn't say is we are decreasing on the INS side.
With the state matching those funds, the district could bring in over $936,000, something Bennett has explained to Aransas Pass neighbors.
The school came to both of us to explain what Vader is about. And the tax increase, in one bucket and then the decrease in the other bucket, it doesn't impact us as taxpayers, but it's going to benefit the school district.
Benefiting the district and those who live in Aransas Pass.
The tax rate from the school district, from APISD, will stay the same, 0.8088.
Early voting is underway this week. Election Day is Tuesday, November 4th. In Aransas Pass, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Victoria Valderrama for KRIS 6 News.
Well, good Tuesday morning there, Coastal Bend, 6:06 a.m. Taking a look at our USS Lexington cam. Thanks to First Community Bank, 71 degrees. Those winds are calm here in Corpus Christi right now. A few more cars starting to pick up there on the Harbor Bridge itself, and the aquarium nice and lit up, put it on a show out there this morning. Of course, as we're getting a good look at yesterday, it was a record-breaking Monday. Hit 94 degrees for that daytime high. If you were around in the afternoon, you definitely felt it outside. That previous record was 93 from 1995, and we could be record chasing or tying today, or even passing it up. Today's record is 92 degrees. I'm forecasting that 94 to 5 degrees once again, and it's a toasty Tuesday for us. The morning lows, though, nowhere close to that record. That was 43 degrees set back in 1957. In your neighborhood, rounding out in the 70s for most of us, 68 degrees going to be the cool spot. Over in Hebronville this morning, 80 degrees in Port Aransas, that hot spot, so 12 degrees of spread. And then the visibility is not too bad, but Alice has been decreasing in that visibility down to about 3.3 miles now, so just want to be mindful of that and keeping an eye on it. Winds also for most of us out of the south 5 to 10 miles an hour. Going to be true throughout today with the moisture around, and dew points holding on into the 70s for most of us. 71 here in Corpus Christi as well as Portland, 73 in Ingleside, and 74 over at the Naval Air Station. Some of our southern communities getting away with the upper 60s, but still plenty of moisture to work with. So that heat risk today going to be in the minor to moderate stage. Something to be mindful of with those feels like temperatures getting into the upper 90s, if not that century mark itself. So 100 degrees is what it might be feeling like this afternoon. Want to be mindful of that. Drink the water, stay hydrated, and just try to limit your time outdoors if you can. However, there is hope on the horizon. Nothing too close to Corpus Christi yet, but as we look towards North Texas, that's where you could see that next cold front on the way just to the south between Lubbock and San Angelo there. That's what's going to be on the way by the time we're going into tonight, and that's what's going to give us better rain chances heading into the evening hours, I should say. About 7 to 9 p.m. is what current model guidance has for some of that frontal passage, I should say, working its way into the Coastal Bend and Corpus Christi, and then that's where it's going to start feeling like fall tomorrow. In terms of rainfall, though, we are on the tail end of it, so pretty uncertain on how much rainfall exactly we will see into Corpus Christi, if any, but going to keep my hopes out that we'll see more rather than less, I should say. But then as we go into tomorrow, plenty of sunshine on the board for our Wednesday, but nice and cool out there, going to be 70s, and then dew points are going to be dry as well, dropping from the 70s down to the 50s, and going to sustain that through most of the work week, even into the weekend, only getting up into that kind of muggy air, only into the 60s though. Nothing compared to the 70s that we're currently dealing with, so I know we'll definitely take it while we can get it, and that's really going to be the story of this week, finally feeling like fall in the Coastal Bend after we get through that rain tonight. Even this weekend looking beautiful in the 80s with overnight lows in those upper 50s.
Have any travel plans coming up? Stick around. Deputy Political Director Joe St. George joins us after the break to talk more about the government shutdown's effect on traveling. Welcome back. It is 6:12 on your Tuesday morning as we take a live look at our SPID Skycam. And look at all you guys heading to work and school and getting your day started. That's something to be proud about already. Meteorologist Stephen Jones has a look at your forecast and the change for cooler temperatures this week. But first, we head to Washington. Now, air traffic controllers will officially miss their first paychecks today due to the government shutdown. The funding battle's already putting a strain on air travel, with airports across the country reporting more staffing shortages than usual. To talk more about this, we bring in our Deputy Political Director, Joe St. George. Good morning, Joe. What is the union representing air traffic controllers going to push for today in hopes of a resolution?
Right, I think it's important to note that up until this point, yes, we've seen delays and we've seen cancellations in airport, that this shutdown has been partially, and in some cases completely blamed for. But today represents really a new moment with this shutdown and the potential impact on America's skies. Today is the first full paycheck in which air traffic controllers are missing, as the Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy, has warned. The expectation is that more air traffic controllers will call out sick. Look, I live in the Washington, D.C. area. I've heard rumblings of driving for Uber, driving for Lyft as air traffic controllers try to get by. Think about it for a moment. These are people directing airplanes, helping pilots. I mean, this is a job that requires focus and attention. So there is a safety element of all of this as well. Again, with this missed paycheck and what's coming up in just a few days, the first of the month, mortgages for so many, rents for so many are due. You don't need to understand airport operations all that well to know that if just a handful of air traffic controllers call out on a certain day, it could create a domino effect at your local airport, impacting your flight. And it doesn't even have to be your airport in South Texas. It could be an airport in another part of the country that's experiencing a walkout that impacts the plane that's supposed to take you eventually somewhere. As far as what the Air Traffic Controllers Union is doing today, they are expected to be in many airports across the U.S. If you find yourself traveling in the coming days, you may encounter them handing out flyers, encouraging passengers to call their congressman. They are advising air traffic controllers to change their social media profile pictures to raise awareness as well. I think this has the potential of being a real, it's the term that's being used, pressure point in this shutdown. Let's face it, unless you're a federal worker, unless you're someone that relies on government assistance like SNAP, you may not have felt the impacts of this shutdown. Well, if you can't fly to that vacation that you've been planning, if you can't go on that work trip, this has the potential of impacting a whole host of Americans that aren't currently impacted by this shutdown. And while no one wants mass disruption in our skies and in our airports, this could be an issue that forces Republicans and Democrats to come together. From a political standpoint, though, here on day 28 of the shutdown, it might as well be day 2. Democrats and Republicans remain locked in. This impasse continues, but this threat for disruption at airports is a big story on this Tuesday morning.
All right, Joe. Well, thank you for that information and that insight. Have a great rest of your day.
Well, 6:16 on our Tuesday morning, taking a live look over there at Snoopy's Pier, thanks to Matthew CCAC, sitting at 77 degrees, winds out of the southwest 7 miles an hour, and a couple cars there on the causeway, but moving nice and freely with the waters looking nice and calm as well. Those temperatures in your neighborhood, 70s for most of us, 80 degrees the hot spot in Port Aransas this morning, a couple 60s off for some of our southern communities, so about 11 degrees of spread across the coastal bend, with the rest of us rounding out in the 70s, 73 degrees up there in Beeville this morning, with looking at the dew points also in those lower 70s, plenty of moisture out and about. Those upper 60s for our southern viewing areas, 73 there in Ingleside, 74 over at the Naval Air Station here in Corpus Christi as well as Portland, both coming in around that 71 degree dew point mark. In terms of that dog walk forecast today, we've got Seba and Geo ready to go out there for their walk, of course, and as we're looking at those temperatures for them, going to be a nice morning for it, not too bad. 70s through about 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 82 degrees. By the time we're heading out for lunch, looking at those upper 80s with the winds out of the south 5 to 10 miles an hour, but the morning looking like the better time to go out this afternoon. Going to be toasty for sure, with daytime highs getting into the mid and even upper 90s as you work your way inland. Along the coast a little bit cooler there with the mid to upper 80s. Still going to be a very toasty afternoon. That heat risk sitting in the minor to moderate around the coastal bend today. In terms of the future tracker, going to be looking at a rain shot going into tonight with that cold frontal passage. We're expecting that about 7 to 9 p.m. p.m. here in Corpus Christi, I should say, with a line of showers along it is expected as well. Unfortunately, we're once again on the tail end of this system, so how much rain is going to fall is very uncertain right now, and whether we see any rain at all is still questionable, in fact, as well. So going to hope for more rather than less working into the area. Hopefully a couple good downpours could at least put down a quarter of an inch or so of rain, but then after that moves through the area tomorrow. Drier air moves in. Wednesday going to have plenty of sunshine across the coastal bend, and those temperatures only going to be in the 70s, not too bad. So looking at that frontal passage timing for you throughout the evening hours, you could expect it about 4 to 5 p.m. as for some of our northern communities, working into the area by about 8 p.m. working its way through Corpus Christi is what the current guidance is showing us, so not too bad. But in terms of rain totals, we'd like to see a little bit more. You can see just how spotty it is around the area, and in terms of totals, going to be definitely less than half an inch in terms of everything all together said and done. So hopefully we start to see a little bit more rain working in while we go into November. Unfortunately, the current outlook does have us seeing drier conditions through about the next 10 days. In terms of the 7-day forecast, that's also the only rain shot on the board, but luckily we are finally starting to feel like fall here once again in the coastal bend. Daytime highs in the 70s for the rest of the week, and the weekend going to be beautiful with daytime highs in the 80s. Those overnight lows as low as the 40s by Wednesday night, and then holding on to the 50s the rest of the week.
And if you're into live music, the Grammy-winning rock band Stone Temple Pilots with special guest The Toadies are coming to the Concrete Street Amphitheater on Thursday, November 6th. And Chris 6 News is giving you the chance to win a pair of tickets. To enter to win, go to christv.com/contest and fill out that form with your information. Good luck.
This is Veterans in Focus, sponsored by the Heil Law Firm, battling for justice, winning for the community.
Flags, rebar, and a whole lot of teamwork. Students and volunteers spent their Friday morning at the Richard Borchard Fairgrounds prepping for this year's Coastal Bend Flags of Valor. Now, each piece you see of rebar will soon hold a flag honoring a veteran or active duty service member.
If a veteran organization reaches out and asks for help, we will try to stop everything that we're doing to support our local veterans. And as a veteran, I'm humbled to bring my students out to do this for our older veterans, to give back to them.
Now, I even tried my hand at it, and just one rebar was enough to see the hard work that goes into each flag. Now, tonight at 6, I'll show you how these students and even families who've lost loved ones are helping bring this patriotic display to life and the emotion behind every flag.
Well, good Tuesday morning, 6:23 a.m. Taking a look at our USS Lexington camp, thanks to First Community Bank. Seeing a couple cars starting to pick up there on the Harbor Bridge, of course, but looks like they're flowing nice and smooth out there this morning. Not too much rain to slow you down, but maybe just a little bit of patchy fog you want to be mindful of course. But as you're heading out the door, most of our roadways looking good and green out there this morning as we're heading closer to 6:30 a.m. Getting a more in-depth look now at the Harbor Bridge. They're good and green to and from Portland this morning. In Corpus Christi Ocean Drive, not too bad out there, as well as SPID Saratoga, just a minor slowdown there, but nothing to worry about, I'd say. Crosstown Expressway looking good and green as you're heading out the door as well. Now getting over closer to the island, here's over by Flower Bluff Drive, looking good and green heading out the door. A minor one there to worry about on Waldron Road, just to keep in mind, and the normal one you see by the Naval Air Station. Those drive times out the door this morning, 22 minutes from downtown to the island, 8 minutes from Portland to downtown, 14 from Cal Allen to downtown, wherever you're going to, wherever you're coming from. Good and green to head out the door and kick off your Tuesday morning.
What does it really take to become a U.S. citizen? I'm Adam Beam, breaking down the process and seeing just how difficult or easy it really is.
Now, weather on the 6s.
Well, 6:26 a.m. taking a live look over there at Snoopy's Skycam, brought to us by Matthew CCAC, sitting around 71 degrees here in downtown Corpus Christi. A couple cars there on the causeway, but not too bad. And as we're looking at the water as well, looking nice and clear out there this morning. Just a little bit of low cloud cover setting up, and maybe even some patchy fog in some of our communities, but not even as bad as we were looking at yesterday. Looking at yesterday, though, talking about it, it was a record-breaking Monday, coming in at 94 degrees for that daytime all-time high. The record was 93 set back in 1995. The morning lows, not even close. 1957 gave us 43 degrees. We came in at about 65 degrees yesterday, and the rainfall, we need a lot to make up for 2025. Almost 11¼ inches so far needed, and gonna see that continue to rise as we go through the next few days. Maybe we'll pick up a little bit tonight, though. In your neighborhood, looking at those temperatures, 80 degrees, the hot spot in Port Aransas. Hebbronville, 68 degrees, going to be that cool spot, a good 12 degrees of spread, with the rest of us rounding out in the 70s, 77 over there at the Naval Air Station. And Alice going to have the most reduced visibility right now at about 3.3 miles. Just something to be mindful of as you're getting ready to head out the door as well. This morning, though, not looking too bad to take the pups out for a walk today. We've got Seba and Geo on display, ready to go for their walk, of course. This morning, not going to be too bad to take them out either, shaping up in the 70s through 9 a.m., 82 degrees there by 10 a.m., 88 as we're heading out to lunch this afternoon. And then this afternoon going to be pretty toasty, of course, with those southerly winds as well, 5 to 10 miles an hour, picking up to 10 to 15 in the afternoon. But the feels like temperatures going to be pushing into the upper 90s, if not even that century mark. Current model guidance suggesting a feeling like 101 there by 4 p.m. So try to stay indoors, drink water, and just be mindful of it. Of course, just going to be a toasty Tuesday before us before we see that cold front working in tonight. That heat risk going to be minor to moderate in terms of heat risk today. So definitely want to just try and stay indoors if you can. In terms of the big weather picture, you can't see the cold front yet, but as we look towards the panhandle of Texas, between about Lubbock into San Angelo, you can see that's where our cold front we're expecting tonight is. Currently, it's working its way through the Lone Star State, and as we go into the evening hours, that's where we're going to see it move into the coastal bend. Nothing on the current Doppler radar, but on the future tracker, you can see where that front moves in about 7 to 8 p.m. here for Corpus Christi is what we're currently expecting, with a line of rain and showers along it, but kind of spotty at that, and we're going to be on the tail end of the system once again. So how much rainfall is going to fall, exactly where, and how exactly where we're going to see that falling into Corpus Christi, very questionable and very uncertain for right now, but we're going to take every drop we can get. We were just talking about it, need 11¼ inches to make up for 2025. After we get through tonight, though, that's going to be the end of the rain chances. Tomorrow looking like a beautiful Wednesday at that. Plenty of sunshine, those temperatures in the 70s, just going to be feeling like fall once again. But like I said, those rain chances after we get through tomorrow, or tonight, I should say, that's where they really diminish. By Saturday, there's current model guidance suggesting maybe a little bit of a resurgence in rainfall activity, but going to be isolated at best, unfortunately. So rainfall total still going to be shy of what we need to make up for 2025. In terms of the 7-day forecast, going to be feeling like fall after we get through our toasty Tuesday, with 70s for the rest of the week, even that 49 degrees for the overnight lows by Thursday morning. The rest of the week going to be in the 50s, 60 degrees by the end of the week into November, with the weekend looking beautiful in the 80s.
As families prepare to honor their loved ones for Dia de los Muertos, some business owners say sales aren't what they used to be. I'm Jada Jenkins on the West Side with what's changed.
You might want to hold on to those pennies. They could be disappearing soon. I'm Holly Furfer, looking into what consumers can expect as the copper coins start to become history.
Welcome back. President Donald Trump announced the end of the penny in February, and in May, the U.S. Mint made its last order for penny blanks. Scripps News Group's Holly Furfer explains how now some retailers are starting to see them disappear from the registers.
You might want to finally round up those forgotten pennies on the floor of your car or in between your couch cushions. Several retailers around the country have started posting signs and drafting policies on what to do if cashiers cannot give out exact change, because we may be seeing the beginning of a penny shortage. We may be seeing the beginning of the end for the penny. Local shortages may already be happening in pockets of the country, but most Americans haven't felt it yet.
Most transactions today are digital, but the people who tend to use cash and rely on cash will definitely feel the penny shortage before the rest of us.
Without pennies, businesses will have to decide whether to round prices to the nearest nickel or even dollar, changing the familiar 99-cent effect, where a price just under $1 feels cheaper.
This is called the left digit effect because our brain tends to process information from left to right.
Some companies are already making adjustments. Kroger stores are asking customers for exact change. Truck Stop, Love's, and gas station Quick Trip grip are rounding totals to the nickel.
I think that there is some practical, implementation of rounding that, that businesses are going to do on the fly. I don't necessarily think it's going to have a significant impact on a lot of consumers or businesses.
Under federal rules, retailers that accept SNAP benefits are required to treat customers equally, making rounding totals for cash customers and not for digital transactions a difficult policy decision. The national retail groups sent a letter to Congress in September asking the government to make rules before the shortage issue becomes widespread. From a cost perspective, phasing out the penny makes sense.
And we shouldn't be necessarily producing money that the cost is higher.
Popovich says the biggest impacts are likely to be emotional, not economic. The penny has a place in American culture.
We have sayings around the penny, like a penny saved is a penny earned, and find a penny, pick it up all day long, you'll have good luck and stuff like that. So it feels, I think, emotionally symbolic.
Holly Furfer, Scripps News Group, Atlanta.
Well, good Tuesday morning there, Coastal Bend, taking a live look at our USS Lexington cam, brought to us by First Community Bank, sitting at 6:36 a.m., 71 degrees, and those winds are calm here in Corpus Christi. The Harbor Bridge starting to see a few more cars along it, and the aquarium putting on a show, of course, nice and lit up, nice and colorful this morning. Temperatures in your neighborhood sitting in the 60s down towards the south, 68 there in Hebronville this morning. 80 degrees is the warm spot in Port Aransas, 71 off towards the north for George West as well as Beeville, so 12 degrees of spread across the Coastal Bend. Not too bad to start off our Tuesday morning, but the moisture, you're definitely feeling it as well, with those dew points in the upper 60s to the south, those mid 70s along the coast, coming in at 74 degrees for that dew point there at the Naval Air Station. Planning out your Tuesday here in Corpus Christi, 11 a.m., 85 degrees is what you could expect, with those winds out of the south also picking up into the afternoon, about 10 to 15 miles an hour, but not as much as tonight after that front passes by. Going to expect those winds out of the north about 20 to 25 miles an hour. Of course, first though, that daytime high has to get to about 94 to 95 degrees, but going to be feeling like the upper 90s, if not the century mark, thanks to those dew points in the 70s. So I want to be mindful of that as you go throughout your day. I'll go over the full 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit.
Now, 20 minutes of non-stop news, sponsored by Ewald Kubota.
Thank you so much for joining us for our 20 minutes of nonstop news. I'm Michaela Chavez. Brian and Michelle have the day off. We have plenty of neighborhood news for you this morning, but first, let's check in with meteorologist Stephen Jones. Happy Tuesday, Stephen. Good morning. How are those roadways looking?
Well, good morning, Michaela. Not so bad so far. Stepping out the door this morning, it wasn't quite as humid. I thought, dew points are about the same, but it felt a little better out there, right?
It did feel a little better today, and it's getting me hopeful for the rest of the week.
I know, absolutely. We're getting that cold front in here tonight. It's going to be nice and cool, but still heading out the door this morning, a little bit humid out there. And looking at our SPID cam, you could see a few more cars starting to hit the roadway now as we're getting closer to 7 a.m. there on SPID. But luckily, no major slowdowns, not a lot of brake lights as we're looking there, but just a little bit of low cloud cover. Luckily, no rain to slow you down on the roadways either. Now let's get a good look at all the roadways around Corpus Christi, taking an in-depth look here at the Harbor Bridge to and from Portland this morning. Going to be good and green both ways, whichever way you're heading now into Corpus Christi. Ocean Drive, not too bad either, as well as Ennis Jocelyn, SPID, Saratoga, Crosstown Expressway everywhere. Looking good and green here into our major roadways in Corpus Christi at least. Now over to Flower Bluff Drive, no major slowdowns. Waldron Road, a minor slowdown to be mindful of course, the normal one you see as you get closer to the gates there at the Naval Air Station. Some of those drive times sitting about 22 minutes from downtown to the island, 8 minutes from Portland to downtown. If you're heading from Cal Allen to downtown, can expect that to be about 15 minutes. Wherever you're coming from, wherever you're going to, good and green to head out the door and kick off your Tuesday morning.
I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Adam Beam. After reporting on immigration and deportation, I noticed a lot of confusion online. Confusion about just how difficult it is to become a U.S. citizen. So I decided to take a look at the process for myself. When it comes to immigration, the only way to become a U.S. citizen is by birthright citizenship or naturalization. Let's start with what's required. According to USA.gov, for someone to be eligible for U.S. citizenship through naturalization, they must be 18 years of age, able to read, write, and speak basic English, and be of good moral character. All of this is reviewed over the past 5 years prior to applying. But that's only the beginning, because part of the naturalization process is being a permanent resident of the United States for at least least 5 years before becoming a U.S. citizen. Now, you can do this through sponsorships by another U.S. citizen or by employment like a work visa. However, some legal experts say current immigration crackdowns make this guarantee uncertain.
A lot of people think you can just jump into being a citizen, and so usually for most people, it's got to be becoming a resident first, and it's very difficult, even in the best of circumstances.
As we learned from the story of Taft resident Gabriela Rodriguez, who was in the process of applying for her residency and had a work permit, but was still deported due to an old deportation, immigration attorneys advice those offenses are something that can be used against you in future attempts.
It's called reinstatement. So basically, somebody was deported, they came back. If ICE or CBP detains them, they're just going to use that same order to deport the person.
So once you've made it through the next 5 years, what's next? You'll fill out one of these N-400 forms, and how long that form takes to process will depend on your city and state. After that, though, you still have a little bit left to go. Do you know how long the term of a U.S. Senator is? Can you name 2 cabinet-level positions? Those are some of the 128 questions that make up the naturalization test, and that comes along with an English test as well. If you pass, in a matter of time, you'll take an oath of allegiance, and you'll officially be a U.S. citizen. Now let's circle back to birthright citizenship one more time. As of Monday, October 27th, the future of birthright citizenship remains uncertain. Texas is among the 24 states joining the Trump administration's push to end it altogether, but that decision will ultimately be decided by the Supreme Court. Trying to condense a process like immigration into one news story is easier said than done. For a detailed look at all this information and more, you can find it online at christv.com. For Chris 6 News, I'm Adam Beam.
Well, thank you, Adam. We have plenty of neighborhood news to get to this morning, from SNAP benefits being cut on November 1st to a tax rate increase up for vote in Orange Grove. We have you covered in your neighborhood check-in.
Rebecca Harden is one of nearly 60,000 people eligible for SNAP, or the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. She gets about $200 a month. Now, because of the government shutdown, those benefits are going away come November 1st. She tells me she's already seeing more people show up to local food pantries for help. For Rebecca, she started her own garden to stretch out her food and make ends meet. I reached out to local pantries in the Coastal Bend to see how they're being impacted. Church Unlimited tells me while they don't work with any federal agencies, they've noticed a change. Harden says she finally got her October benefits on the 26th, but now has to use them by the 31st. The Health and Human Services Commission say they will issue SNAP benefits as soon as it receives new federal guidance. In Corpus Christi, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Stephanie Molina, Chris 6 News.
I'm Melissa Trevino, your neighborhood news reporter in Orange Grove. School leaders tell me after years of losing money, the district is now leaning on voters to help improve safety and give raises. I spoke with the district and residents about the issues voters will see on the upcoming election ballot. When Gilbert Gonzalez Jr. heard about a potential tax increase, he did his homework. He called the superintendent and attended one of the several public meetings to learn more about the voter approval tax rate election. Superintendent Eddie Hesseltine says the election is about recovering money the district's been losing for years. He tells me the district has lost over $1 million a year, money that could be put into their staff and schools.
Well, 6:46 a.m. taking a live look over at Snoopy's Pier thanks to Matthew CCAC. Sitting at 77 degrees over there at Snoopy's, 71 here in downtown Corpus Christi, and a couple more cars there on the causeway picking up. The water's looking nice and calm as well this morning. Getting a good look at our Monday, though, it was record-breaking at that 94 degrees is what we hit for the daytime high. That record was 93 back from 1995. The morning low record was 43 set back in 1957. We didn't even come close at 65 degrees. That's about 3 degrees above our average of what we're supposed to be seeing for this time of year. Of course, lots of rainfall still needed to make up for 2025 as well so far. In your neighborhood, sitting in the 70s for most of us, 67 they're going to be the cool spot over in Hebronville. 80 over in Port Aransas, the hot spot. 13 degrees of spread right now across the Coastal Bend. 3 miles of visibility over there in Alice, going to be a little reduced, one to be mindful of as well as you're heading out the door. And 4.7 up there in Beeville this morning as as well. As we're looking at the feels like temperatures throughout the afternoon, though, going to be a very toasty Tuesday, getting into the upper 90s by 2 p.m., feeling like 100 degrees from 3 to 5 p.m. So definitely want to be mindful of it as we head through our Tuesday. Drink the water, try to limit that time outdoors, of course, as well, because it's going to be just pretty warm out there. And as we're looking at the big weather picture, not too much on the board as we look at South Texas, but as we look into North Texas between about Lubbock and San Angelo, that's where we're seeing that next cold front on the way. That's the one that's on the way by tonight, working its way into South Texas slowly but surely. It's going to be here by tonight and bring some more rain our way, but at the very least, more fall feels like temperatures. The current radar showing you nice and clear skies across the coastal bend right now, but the future tracker going to show you with that cold front's arrival by about 7 to 8 p.m. here in Corpus Christi. That's where we see a nice line of band of showers and rain along with it, but unfortunately on the tail end of the system, going to be very questionable on how much rain, if any, we do pick up. Just going to hope for more rather than less, because we do need a lot of rain to make up for 2025, and in terms of the drought, we could use a dent in that as well. By tomorrow, though, more dry air works in as well as high pressure, nice clear skies, and feeling like fall as you're stepping out the door tomorrow morning. In terms of wind gusts, though, going to be very gusty with it. Those winds turn out of the north with the cold front's arrival, and they're going to be gusting upwards of into the 30s as we see that the winds move from the north with that cold, dry air working into the evening and overnight hours, and going to keep us cold really through the rest of the week, and with sticking with that dry air through the rest of the week as well. You can see on our muggy meter dipping from the 70s down to the 50s and then holding that through Friday. By the weekend, gets back to slightly muggy air around the 60s, but really not too bad overall. And in terms of the 7-day forecast, that's our best rain chance on the board is going to be with the cold front's passage, then feeling like fall the rest of the week. Overnight's lows as low as the 40s by Wednesday night into Thursday morning, with daytime highs only in the 80s by this weekend.
I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Jada Jenkins, on the west side. Families across the coastal bend are preparing to welcome the spirit of their loved ones for Dia de los Muertos. But this year, many say the tradition is looking a lot different.
Talking to a few customers already that they believe there will not be a big celebration at the cemeteries due to what's going on with the policies here of immigration. So a lot of people are scared to venture out.
Roland Garza works at Frank's Produce, a family business that's been a West Side staple for more than 50 years. He tells me faith plays a big role for many of his customers.
Yeah, in this community, in this part of the Corpus Christi, it is big.
But Garza says some of his customers fear that celebrating openly will make them a target.
A lot of religion involved in politics. They're seeing it now, so they are shying away from it.
Stores like his have felt the change, with sales dropping as some customers hold back.
It used to be pretty big. A lot of traditions are stopping.
But just a few minutes down the street, I found Amanda Lopez at Castro's Flower Shop, still helping families prepare their ofrendas.
Marigolds. Everybody normally will buy marigolds.
Lopez says rising prices have also made it harder to keep traditions going.
People are just shifting. It's not so traditional.
And even as things change, Amanda continues to celebrate for a deeper reason.
I feel connected to them every day, but whenever we take the time to remember them extra that day, it just feels like if they're really right next to you.
The end date for Dia de los Muertos varies. For kids, the last day is November 1st, and for adults, the last day is November 2nd. On the west side, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Jada Jenkins, Chris 6 News.
Now, 6 things to know before you go.
Air traffic controllers will officially miss their first paychecks today due to the government shutdown. The funding battle's already putting a strain on air travel, with airports across the country reporting more staffing shortages than usual. Thousands of flights were delayed over the weekend due to the staffing issues. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said he will slow air traffic operations if needed to ensure that safety is not compromised. And President Trump continues his trip through Asia today. The president is in Japan, where he's expected to hold talks with the country's new prime minister, Sanae Takaishi. She's Japan's first female prime minister and has said strengthening her country's alliance with the U.S. is her government's top priority. Trump will also meet with troops and deliver a speech aboard the USS George Washington, which is anchored in Japan. The president plans to head to South Korea for talks on Wednesday. And Hurricane Melissa is continuing its path through the Caribbean before heading toward the Bahamas. It's forecasted to slam into Cuba and Jamaica today, bringing catastrophic flooding, landslides, and widespread damage with it. The storm was upgraded to a Category 5 hurricane on Monday, and if that power is sustained, the system would be the strongest hurricane to hit the island since record-keeping began in 1851. Melissa has already been blamed for 6 deaths in the Northern Caribbean. And H-E-B is stepping up to address hunger across Texas. The grocery chain is donating $5 million to food banks with Feeding Texas to help people who rely on SNAP benefits or need an extra hand. They're also donating $1 million to the Meals on Wheels programs across the state. The program provides meals to homebound seniors. And CC Polymers rejected the city's proposal to buy its desalination plant, one of several projects the city has been pursuing amid the looming water crisis. In a letter sent on October 23rd, the company told city manager Peter Zanoni it would not move forward with acquisition talks. The plant is 90 to 95% complete, but has never operated, with equipment sitting exposed to weather. The city faces a level 1 water emergency by next November. Zanoni says the city is pursuing multiple water projects totaling 68 million gallons per day. And a new restaurant is coming to Moore Plaza on the south side. Crews with White Star Demolition started tearing down the old TGI Fridays on Monday to make room for Yard House Restaurant. Yard House is known for its large selection of draft beers and a diverse menu. There's several locations across the country, including several in Texas. No word on when it'll open. And Halloween is just a few days away, and DoorDash is getting in the spirit with their top candies for Halloween. So here are the top 10 according to last year's sales. Number 1, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Number 2, M&M's. Number 3, Hershey's Bars. Number 4, Snickers. Number 5, Skittles. Number 6 is Nerds. 7, Sour Patch Kids. Number 8 is Twix. Number 9 is Kit Kat. And number 10 is Airheads. I don't fully agree with that list, even though it's based off sales. I don't like Skittles, but M&M's, I am a lover of M&M's, supporter and lover forever. What about you?
I liked seeing the Twix on the list. That's definitely my favorite. There was, my very favorite, it's got to be Baby Ruth, though. Didn't make the list.
Really?
Yeah.
That is so underrated. I feel like I never hear people talk about that. I never see people grab it at the convenience stores.
No, but definitely underrated. That's the right word for that one. But I mean, I don't mind Reese's being the top of the list either. That's just such a go-to.
That's a classic. You're right. It's been a staple for years now, and it's still good.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's just not too bad. And I can't believe we're already to Halloween, basically. Just a few days away now, but still a little warm out there this morning. I know it's not feeling like it yet, but by tomorrow morning, it's going to be feeling like it out there. Just for right now, still dealing with a lot of the 70s, and that humidity still in place right now. Of course, taking a live look over there at Snoopy's Pier, you can see 77 degrees. Thanks to Matthew CCAC for this view, of course. 6:55 a.m. Those winds out of the south about 5 to 10 miles an hour. 71 here in downtown, and starting to get a little bit of color in the sky now as we're getting ready for the sun to rise. Of course, looking at our Monday, though, it was record-breaking at that 94 degrees for the daytime high. 93 was the previous record back from 1995. 43 was that record low in 1957. We weren't even close to that record, coming in at 65. And of course, we need a lot of rain to make up for 2025 so far, unfortunately. Current temperatures in your neighborhood sitting in the 70s for most of us, 80 there in Port Aransas. Looks like here in Corpus Christi, we just cooled down to about 68 degrees to take the cool spot. 69 over there in Hebronville as well. So pretty cool with the 70s rounding out the rest of the coastal bend. About 12 degrees of spread right now across the coastal bend from here in Corpus Christi to Port Aransas. And looking at those dew points sitting in the upper 60s, if not the lower 70s there along the coast for the Port Aransas and the Naval Air Station in Ingleside as well, with 69 degrees for that dew point over in Orange Grove as well as Robstown this morning. Looking at the dog walking forecast today, we've got Seba and Gio here ready to go on their walk, of course. Got their little bandanas on, ready and looking good, really good to go on their walk, of course. Those temperatures going to shape up through the 70s through about 9 a.m. 10 a.m. coming in at 82 degrees, 85 there by 11, and by lunchtime, going to expect those upper 80s back into the coastal bend with winds out of the south 5 to 10 miles an hour, but going to be looking at those feels like temperatures this afternoon with that humidity still in place. Going to be feeling like the upper 90s, if not the century mark. Even model guidance right now has us at feeling like 101 by 4 p.m. So definitely be mindful of that. Drink plenty of water. Try to stay cool and limit that time outdoors today if you can. The current Doppler radar pretty clear right now, but in terms of the big weather picture, that's because we don't have too much on it right overhead. The next cold front and weather maker is in North Texas right now between about Lubbock to San Angelo. That's the cold front that's going to work its way through Texas and into here in the coastal bend, making it feel like fall by tonight. Looking at that current Doppler radar, you can see, well, why we don't have any activity on the board, because we don't have that lift in the atmosphere, unfortunately. But going into the overnight hours, that's where we see that front move in. By about 8 p.m., that's where we see that line of rain and showers work in. Unfortunately, we're on the tail end of this system, so probably not too much rain going to be working into the area. Definitely not enough to be a drought buster or put too much of a dent in that 11¼ inches that we need for 2025. By tomorrow, we see those clear skies once again and going to be feeling nice and cool at it. With that 7-day forecast, you can see after the frontal passage, 70s for tomorrow, and going to be a breezy one at that, with 70s through the rest of the week, 80s by this weekend, and also this weekend, just a little reminder there, by Sunday, that's going to be daylight savings as well, already right after Halloween on Friday. So already here, 2025 is just flying by for me, but I'm excited for this fall weather. What about you, Michaela?
I'm definitely very excited. Fall is my favorite time of the year. So.
Oh, absolutely. Fall's, I mean, it's great with the cold fronts, all the weather you get. I know we don't see a lot of snow, but I'm just excited to be feeling a little bit cooler.
Absolutely. Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning on Sunrise, and we'll see you back here for KRIS 6 News at noon.